everyone, how are you? I am back. Alright, so actually I was back yesterday, but I was singing in that video and there was no guitar chat in that video. So to show you gear, I am back. Today is not about new gear, because guitars I'm showing you today are actually old. I got them a couple years ago. So in case you haven't figured out already, we are going to talk about the Trivium, the band Trivium guys, Matt Heafy, Corey Bolo, signature guitars from their days with the Dean guitars. Both of them are manufactured year 2008, manufactured in May that year in Korean factory. This particular factory does very good job with the guitars. So the craftsmanship on both of these guitars, spot on. Paint job even. I'll talk a little bit more about the Corey guitar with the striping, the precision work and all that. But just really dead spot on, good work. Also, by the way, I noticed that I'm in LA, as you know, and it's dark and gloomy today. So I was hoping the video wouldn't turn out too grainy. So I have a little artificial light on, and I think the light is making me look really yellow, based on what I'm seeing myself. So either I look like I have jaundice, or I am living the stereotypical Asian. I'm all yellow and shit. So anyhow, let's show you up close and personal detail first. There's your headstock with the Dean. It is a big honking headstock, by the way. Dean logo with the Trivium logo. There's a truss rod cover with Matt's autograph, with the circle logo of Trivium. Rising sun finish. Now, I'm a Korean, as you know, and to a certain older generation of Korean folks, this rising sun brings back bad memory, as the country was invaded by Japan and we were colonized for a couple of years. So anything that symbolizes the Japanese army like this bring back bad memories. But that's my father's generation, so I can do with. It's fine with me. So there you go. Let's come back here. Okay, so the spec wise, guys, the body is mahogany. The spec sheet says there is a plain maple top here, but I can't tell that because the paint job just covers the whole thing, and I haven't opened up the pickup cavities to see if there's a maple underneath. So there you go. And spec sheet also states that the fingerboard is ebony, but when I look at it, I don't know if this is ebony. It looks more like rosewood to me, but that's what the spec sheet says. Anyhow, so besides the Trivium circle logo in the 12th fret, there is no inlay anywhere. You do get the side markers. Guitar is a reasonable weight, I guess. It's a slightly heavy for this shape of guitar. By the way, I am not a big fan of the ML shape. That's why I don't have any Dean MLs. So this is the only ML shaped guitar I have. By the way, when I say I don't like something, please don't get all butthurt and send me an email saying I don't know what I'm talking about and all that. It's like, I do these guitar chats because, I bring you, the non-biased, the consumer perspective of, the guitars that I have, or what you can buy or whatnot, right? So if I'm sitting here just saying, this is fucking great and everything is great, what is the point, right? So, when I say that I don't like something, that's just my pure opinion, and, you take that for what it's worth. You don't need to call me names, you don't need to get all butthurt and send me hate mail and shit, it's like, because I don't fucking care. Alright. The neck is not a baseball. It is a deep profile. It is not a thin shredder neck like an Ibanez or an ESP neck. It has good grip here. It is a bit thicker than my personal liking, but it is what it is. And the The Floyd is made by actually Floyd. It may be an import, but it's not a licensed product. It's an actual Floyd. And I don't know if it's because of that, but I noticed both this guitar and this Corey guitar, they stay in tune very well after some severe dive bombing and yanking on the bar a little bit. The guitar does not come with a tone knob because Matt apparently always has the tone knobs just dimed. And then you just get one volume knob that looks like some kind of a hat. Like a hat that Slash would wear. Alright, the neck pickup is the Dean Custom Shop pickup called the Nostalgia. I'm not sure if I'm 100% correct, but I believe this pickup was only installed in this guitar, and I believe it's also discontinued now. Obviously, because these guys are no longer with Dean, and we'll talk about that a little bit more after. And then the bridge pickup is the MKH 86 custom pickup, specially wound for his signature guitar back when this was released. So let's cut over to a little bit of sound sample. Don't laugh at my riffing ability. You didn't tune in for my riffage. You tuned in for me talking. Okay, so we are back, and so there you go. I don't know how that sounded. It sounds pretty good to me. The guitar handles well. I like this guitar. The tuners are up here, the Grovers, and one of the things that I don't like is the neck. Both of these guitars have glossy painted, just like the body. Therefore, when you get a little bit sweaty, it develops some traction right here, and it's like gets stuck a little bit. So that is one thing that I don't like about this guitar. But other than that, initially I kind of thought the bridge pickup was a little iffy, but I've grown to like it. One of the guys, I think his name is Thomas Calvi. He is, I think, an Italian, but he also owns this guitar, and he ripped out the stock pickups here and put in white EMGs. With the traditional EMG cover, it looks dead sharp. So if you happen to own this guitar or plan to get this guitar and you don't like the look of these open coil pickups or whatnot, you can also replace with the EMGs. So there you go. What else can I talk to you about this guitar? That about it for this one. So let's move on to the Corey signature. Here we are. So it is not a secret that I'm a fan of Explorers and Vs, right? So this is another V, but obviously it has a very unique twist to it because you got unique cutouts that kind of separate this guitar from your normal Vs. So now let's look at this guitar up close and personal. You get your Dean very pointy headstock, Corey truss rod cover. You got dot inlay markers with the Trivium dagger looking thing, 12th fret logo. and then your circle logos in between the neck, the pickups. Both the guitars have a recessed, routed body. Is that what it's called? So there you go. And the pinstripe work along the edge, just really sharply done. I mean, just dead on, right? And the reason why I mention that is because some of you would remember that I used to have a Dean Razorback Dime V, which was white and that had a black pinstriping. Oh Lord, the pinstriping work on that thing was done so badly. It was so sloppy. You could tell where they failed to properly apply the black, and it just looked bad. And on top of that, I quite didn't like the way it was playing, so I ended up selling that guitar. And one of the things that I didn't like as I was selling was that I really liked the neck on that guitar, because the Deans have this neck profile that's really chunky in the middle and super thin along the edge right here. So you can still, those shredder guys, which I'm not, you can still get up and down really easily because the thickness is not there, and yet the middle of the neck has this, you know, meaty part in it, on it where you could really hold on to. So I really like that neck, but I was able to part myself away from that guitar because I had this one if I really wanted to play on a neck like that. And you know, it's a pleasure to play on this neck. Again, only issue, it's kind of painted. So painted and glossy, so it gets a little sticky. Grover tuners, basically hardware spec, it's exactly the same with the exception of the bridge pickups. I'll show you. So you got your Grover, you got your locking nut. Again, it looks more like rosewood to me. Your Dean Custom Shop Nostalgia neck pickup, and this right here was back then Corey's signature pickup called Ascension. So that's in the bridge, same Floyd, no tone, and just the volume, and that's about it. So now let's cut over to a little bit of sound sample out of this guitar. Okay, so we are back. Alright, so now that we've kind of looked at the guitars and I've played you what I could play, again, don't laugh. So, you know, as you know, both of these boys are no longer with Dean Guitars because their endorsement deal ended shortly after when Dean Zelinsky left Dean Guitars originally. Well, for the second time. He left a long time ago, then he came back at a consulting level like in early 2000, 2001, but then he left again you know, a couple years ago, and that's when he started DBZ Guitars. By the way, to add more confusion, he's no longer with DBZ either. So he's now with Dean Guitar Private Label or something like that. I can't keep track. Anyhow, so when Dean Zelinsky left Dean Guitars and their endorsement deal was expired, both Matt and Corey decided not to renew with Dean, and obviously, as you guys all know, Corey's now with Jackson, and Matt is now with Gibson. So, the backstory is that the guys were more tight with Dean Zielinski personally than say the Dean Guitars as a company. So while they didn't have an endorsement deal after they left, DBZ made Corey some 7-string Vs and other guitars or whatnot. But I guess things didn't quite work out, which is why we now have the Jackson Corey signature guitar, and Matt's Epiphone custom Les Paul is about to come out. So that kind of gives me seg over to what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. The world of signature guitars, the endorsement guitars, it's so fickle when you ask me, because a lot of these endorsement deals have like a incentive clause where if certain model guitars sell so well, the artist is incentivized besides free guitars that they get. And so during the time when these guys have these endorsement deals, they'll pump the guitar a lot. You read the guitar magazine interviews and video interviews or what have you, they'll talk about their signature guitars, how they spent all this time developing it, designing it with some dude at whatever guitar company, custom shop, and it's the best thing since the slice of bread. Everything is, they'll pump it hard. And then the deal ends. And then as if all that was non-existent, all of a sudden the new guitar that they have through the new company is the best thing. Yeah, of course, I get the fact that they learned from the experience, and by the time next series is designed with another company, then things are improved. I get it. But also at the same time, you can't turn around the very next day and say, oh, this new guitar is the best thing I had, and all of a sudden the guitar he was using last month is no longer that great. So where do you get off saying that? So I say this because to me it didn't really matter, but some 14-year-old kid who's running paper routes to save up money, or frying burgers at Mickey D's, save up money, and goes out and get one of these guitars, and he's all pumped because he's got his hero signature guitar. Next month, the guy moves on to guitar company B, and this is no longer the quote-unquote official guitar, and that's the type of thing that bugs me, right? So, same sort of thing happened with these guys. They were pumping their Dean signature guitars a lot. All of a sudden, right now, if you go see Trivium in concert, you will not see them play one Dean guitar during their set. Even the songs where they use the 7-string guitars, that's all now, like Corey's bringing out his Jackson, and then Matt's got his Gibson Explorer 7-strings and stuff like that. So it's like they disappeared all of a sudden. To me it's cool because I own something that's rare. Like I said earlier, they didn't make a lot of these, so it's not that easy to find, even though you can still find them pretty easily. So I'll give you another example, like Chris Broderick, whom I love dearly, as you know. A little bit of man crush on that guy. But, did I just fucking say that? He was with Ibanez for a very long time. And then, he left, the deal ended, he left, and he now has the Jackson signature. And if you watch on the old interview where he's talking about his Ibanez signature, oh God, he is pumping that thing like nobody's business, and all of a sudden, once he moved over to Jackson, the old Ibanez is like, I don't want to say POS, but he doesn't mention it, nothing. So, these guys are endorsed, they get marketing dollars, and, they're incentivized to talk up their signature guitars, so take it for what it's worth. Just because it bears your hero's name on it, it doesn't mean it's the greatest thing or, whatever. What else did I need to talk to you about? Alright, so anyhow, that wraps up this video of 2 guitars from the band Trivium. Not sure if I'm going to be getting the new ones. I think the Jackson Corey signature is a little bit pricey on that. It's basically Les Paul with EMG, so I don't know why I would get that. So there you go, and until next time, which may be soon because I'm about to cut another video. I don't know when I will upload it, but anyhow, so until next time, you guys all take care, and thank you for tuning in. See?